Peace, and salutations, beautiful people. This is Brother Leo, Brother Conscious, with Brothers in America. I got my co-host, Holy Water with a side of green tea, and an honorary guest. We got Apostle Carlos Nathaniel Keith. Was married for 43 years with his beautiful wife, Patrice Keith. Have two beautiful children. Was in the military, in the military active duty for 30 years. Also served as a civilian for 14 years. He's an apostle of New Horizon Church in North Augusta slash Columbia, South Carolina. Man of God. How you doing today, man of God?
I'm doing good.
How we doing today, Holy Water with a side of green tea?
I'm doing all right. Brother Christie.
Yes.
What I don't yeah, man, I don't know what to say. But anyway, go ahead, man. Go ahead with a side or whatever. Go ahead.
Yes, family. The day our topic came from the man of God. He was asking, right? Wisdom for a healthy relationship. Wisdom for a healthy relationship. Where do you get wisdom from? That's our panel for the day. Where do you get wisdom from? We're going to start with you, Holy, and we're going to jump to the man of God.
Okay. You said, where do I get wisdom from?
Yes. For a healthy relationship.
For a healthy relationship.
Yes, sir.
Well, my first designated my first designated focus was the Biblios.
Yes.
Right, well, that was the first one, that I feel like that was a good setup, and then it kind of just it kind of stayed right there for a long time, and it's still right there for real, to be honest. But yeah.
Okay. Go ahead, Apostle.
First of all, thank you for having me, Leo. Thank both of you for having me today. I'm honored. Before we talk about where it comes from, let's kind of talk about what it is.
Yes.
And so when I think about wisdom, obviously I'm going to give you some biblical foundation because that's where my roots are at. The Bible said, if any man lack wisdom, let him ask of God, who giveth it liberally, and he don't hold anything back. So when you think about wisdom, I believe you can have a lot of knowledge. People can possess knowledge, but wisdom is the proper application of what you know. And so I think that when we deal with wisdom, it has to come either from one or two sources. The Bible talks about there's a wisdom of this world that is foolishness, but then there's the wisdom of God that is first pure. And so you can operate on either level. But I'm just telling you, the wisdom that we need for relationships has to be rooted in what God said.
Okay. And how do you apply that?
Well, you apply it in each individual situation. It just depends on what we're talking about. It just, when you talk about relationship, are you talking about marriage?
Marriage, a relationship. I mean, of course, intention, purposely dating to marry, courting somebody to marriage.
I think you got to live by certain. Well, I'll tell you how I do it. I don't know all the Bible, but I try to find the principles that apply to God.
Okay.
And then I try to live by those principles. Meaning I try to treat everybody with dignity and respect. I try to live in such a way that I'm different. And the reason I'm different is because I've been here to make a difference.
Okay.
I cannot apply wisdom if I treat people the same way that maybe they treat me. I can't be responsible for anybody else's the way they treat me, but I can only be responsible for my response back to them. And so if you look at the principles in the word teach us If somebody do something to you, you don't do that back to them. Okay? And if I'm going to be in a relationship and I'm trying to, let's just say, for instance, I'll use my marriage. If I want my wife to stop doing a thing, I gotta be, I'm the head, I gotta stop doing it.
Yes.
I
Lead
can't
by
tell
example.
her to stop doing something that I'm still doing. And so I got to live by an example as a leader. And that's not only in our relationship, but that's a relationship with anybody I'm with if I'm going to walk in wisdom.
Okay. Okay. But I want to also talk to you about as well. You said the wisdom, you said wisdom comes from the Bible, right? Suppose you're speaking to somebody outside who doesn't know about the Bible and doesn't know about God, because we live in a world and a time where a lot of people can be 60, 70, 50 and shun God, right? Do you think that our worldly wisdom, like based off your experience, your growth, your mistakes, your spiritual and your family, like rooted, like teaching you like wisdom? Because a lot of people feel as if you have to experience certain things to know to know how to navigate or to go through it. But sometimes it can come from your family members. Like I remember my father had countless conversations with me, warning me. He warned me before I hit a certain age. He's like, first of all, one thing he told me, he said, I'm gonna, he said, when you go to school for your first 12 years, that's going to be for free. And once you leave school, then you got to come with your pocket. You know what I'm saying? And I
Mm-hmm.
feel like he told me that. He told me that not because of feigned ignorance or nothing like that, but that was him kind of teaching me what's to come. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like I understand what you're saying in terms of the Bible, but I feel like some forms of worldly, because we have a lot of people with integrity that doesn't follow the Bible. We have a lot of people with good morals, good ethics, and so forth that doesn't follow the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
The Bible is definitely a good moral compass, a good encompass yourself with. But you have people that follow those souls, them same teaching, but don't know no deities. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like sometimes like a lot of lively applications that we go through also mold us or mold people with integrity, with principles, with ethics, with morals, principles, and the whole nine. So I can't disregard lively experience as opposed to the Bible. But I know you went to go say something.
The question is, what is the foundation for their ethics? What is the foundation for their morals? Where's that rooted at? Because everything has a foundation.
Yes.
Where did you learn morals from? Where is right? How do you get to know right from wrong? Where does the foundation of our ethics and our moral, where did that come from? And I'm not saying everybody read the Bible. We definitely understand that ethics and morality is a part of those scriptures. We also understand that there's things in Proverbs, the book of Proverbs, that may not be necessary. You know, when Solomon had wisdom, God gave him wisdom to handle certain matters that, let's say, for instance, you won't see that in the Bible, but he just had the type of wisdom where he could deal with certain things, and that was God given to him. Now, when we talk about morals and ethics and those things, I believe they're rooted in what God said. If a person have morals, he don't want to commit adultery on his wife, where does that come from? If a person don't want to lie, where does that come from? If a person have integrity, if he has something, where does those principles come from? And you know, one of the scriptures in the Bible, it says, the way of a fool is right in his own eyes, but a wise man listens to advice. That's in the Bible. That's a practical. If you don't know and I know and you don't listen, then you are a fool. And I think that's, I'm not saying you personally, I'm saying that's the culture that we live in. Because if I have 55 years of experience and you got two, and I'm trying to help you, and you think you know more than me, then that's not wise. That's all I'm saying. It doesn't cost anything for people to listen, whether you're right or wrong. So that means everybody's entitled to dignity and respect. I'll listen at your opinion, you listen at mine. and we're gonna both go away believing whatever we're gonna believe.
Gotcha. I wanted to
That's
say,
right. That's right. That's right. That's right. Elder Carlos, Leo is sometimes a fool. Now,
Hmm.
I don't.
I
Now,
wanted to say, I want you.
I just say it.
I definitely want you to chime in too,
I
Holy. I don't want to
was gonna
disclose
say,
you.
I was gonna say he got your back, Leo. He said he was acting like a fool earlier. Now, go ahead. What you want to say, bro?
No, I said I want you to
So
chime in too.
you're not far from it because he, I don't know, he's just he.
How do you kick people off the podcast?
It's your podcast. You know how to do it.
Yeah.
Holy, I wanted to say, do you go ahead?
If we got integrity, like he was talking about, sometimes we would kick ourselves off. Now I'm
Yeah.
go ahead, bro.
But one of the things I will say this. That's not his name, Holy Water. Is that Holy Water? What should I call you?
Oh, you can call me James. That's fine. That's my email. So it gave me it told me to choose an email, and Holy Water reacts is my email, but this is the alias Holy Water.
But one of the principles that I think it works, okay, is I don't believe you can just tell anybody anything and they're supposed to just believe you. I think you have to earn the right to speak into another person's life. I believe and once you've earned that right to speak into their life, that person trusts you because why? You've earned the right to speak into their life. You've done things where they feel like they can trust you. You can't trust everybody. You can't trust everything everybody say. So we just have to find somebody. Now, you said your dad told you some things. You can learn by other people's experience, and you can go down the road, or you can learn by your own hurts and your own failures and go down the road. So I would rather learn by somebody else than me go through it myself personally. And
if I can interject real quick, I learned how to actually be my ideal of a man. I learned that from reading the Bible. When I was 12, I read the first 5 books of the Bible.
1 second, Holy. 12. Can you tell him somebody you kind of not idolize, but you definitely listen to on that same regard, trying to give it a common ground, somebody who's listened to while he's on your path? I'm trying to meet common ground.
Let me go to the direct foundation before I even got a chance to listen to that person. So my ideals of manhood actually came from the Bible. Like when I was like 12, I read the first 5 books of the Bible, and it really changed my perception a lot, even at that age. You know, and my whole, it's crazy. It's amazing how you could read something and it changed your whole, it changed how you view a lot of stuff in the world. And I think further down we really talk about, I base what a woman is based off Proverbs 31, and how a woman should raise her son as well, is giving him wisdom and telling him not to give his strength to women, and stuff like that. On that note, and a powerful leader that I started following, I think I was like in my early 20s, and he broke a lot of stuff, down, and it caused me to seek more knowledge. And that brother was Dr. Miles Monroe.
Phenomenal.
But yeah, I was listening to him because he has so many teachings on marriage and so many teachings on prayer and fasting, and I was really I followed him. I teared up when he passed away. Like I cried when he passed away. You know what I'm saying? Like but that's how influential he was in my life. And and a lot of my foundation and wisdom that I follow to this day, like I can turn him on right now, and he has a whole. One thing he said is when you read, you get a lot of information, and I think in relationships, people. Now I'm thinking about it. In relationships, people don't read enough.
Exactly.
Like they, and I was talking to brother Leo right here, and I was saying that if we had elders to go to, and we actually listened to our elders, to on spousal information. I feel like that's the only spousal support people should get is while you're in the marriage and you're communicating to the elders, and getting that information from them, because that I believe that I believe in marital supervision.
Yes.
Because I'm like, one more gonna say one more thing, and then I used to always use this example because I used to work at like a retail store, and I used to have to put up cans and canned goods and stuff like that. Here I am getting supervised to put up canned goods, but people don't even have a leader over their marriage. You know what I mean? Like there's nobody they can look up to have a guide in their marriage. They just winging it pretty much. Oh, just me and God, just me and God. Like God didn't create elders and people to put in place and have a pattern and for stuff to be successful. But that's all I gotta say. Yeah.
No, that's good. That's good. And that brings you to the point of, I think we all need mentors, we need models, we need ministers, we need motivators, we need people in our life that we trust that will give us a word and give us a good foundation. Now, obviously, we wish that we had fathers, but that really is the role of a father. Now, if you don't have a father, what God does, and you can read in what Apostle Paul said. He said you have 10,000 instructors, but you don't have many fathers. And what he was talking about is those men that have father-like spirits that's ready to impart into younger men or to their sons or spiritual sons. And we need that today because men are trying to do it on their own, and yet we need to be, whatever, they're not going to easily trust other men, but we need to be able to be transparent and tell somebody something and not be judged for the thing that we tell them, so we can start trusting them and they can give us guidance, and then we could do what they ask us to do and we'll see our life be better. Everybody needs a mentor.
Yes, and this is why I brought you on
Right.
today. This is definitely the reason why I brought you on today, because now here comes the interview process. All right, because this is a man, this is a man of God. I'm pretty sure you went through marital counseling and what's not. And again, you've had a successful marriage for the last 43 years, right? So I feel like you're the perfect prospect. And I me personally, I've known you now for the last 15 years, so I can say it of my own volition that you're not a biased person, But to those who out there, just again, this is his credential. He's a married man for the last 43 years, right? He grew up two sons, and he grew up a son and a daughter and a son. I'm gonna go in the right order, a daughter and a son. You know what I'm saying? So you're in a perfect foundation. Before I'm getting a little sidetracked, I always try to model myself kind of towards you. Because when I grew up, I didn't know what a perfect foundation of a house was. Yourself and also Malcolm X. I didn't know what a perfect foundation of a two-parent household. I didn't know what it meant to come from that thriving, prospering, where your dad's here and your mom's and all in the same place to give you guidance and motivation and so forth. Now, my mother did her part, but she mostly worked, and my father too worked, however the situation may be. But I didn't come from the two-parent household. But you're a man, you was in the services, you traveled across the world, but you still kept your marriage intact. Just as well as I know you had your adversity, ups and downs, but how did you maintain a healthy relationships? I know you're about to say with God, but I want you to say that God, but I also want you to go into details. How did you maintain a healthy relationship for 43 years?
Well, let me tell you, first of all, I wasn't born I was born in the same environment you was born in. I never had a father there. It was a mother raising 6 children right in the city of Philadelphia in the worst projects during the 60s. So my foundation was not great. However, when I got saved at 21, and as James began to say, I began to look at the word of God to see what a man was and how we're supposed to treat our wife. And then the other thing that is critically important is marrying the right person. It's not me just being the right man. It's me marrying what I believe to be the right person. and not the perfect person, but the right person. Okay. And I believe there's someone out there that want to help us. And that doesn't mean we're not going to have challenges. But, you know, when we did have challenges, when we did have issues, because I knew my wife was from God, I was stuck on never leaving, no matter what we go through. And I would tell her, listen, if you ever try to leave me, I'm going with you. And that has been my confession for years.
I like
Now,
that.
I had to be the man in order to give her something to submit to yield to. I had to be that person. And the Bible teaches you all that. The Bible tells us to love our wives as Christ loved the church. And then it also tells the woman to submit to your husband as unto the Lord.
I want to say before you keep on going, please break down submitting, because you know this is a new day and new age where a woman here is submitting and they thinking already obedience, subservient.
Well, let me make sure I put this in the right context, because in that same 5th chapter of Ephesians, and a lot of men, we overlook that. But Paul said, submitting yourselves one to another in the fear of the Lord. So that doesn't just mean women, that means men, as there's times I need to listen and yield to what my wife is saying. There's times she's going to yield and submit to what I'm saying. But if, in general, if I love her like the Bible says I'm supposed to love her, she don't have a problem in yielding and submitting to me. What some women have a problem in yielding and submitting to is the way sometimes men may act or be, and you don't give them what they need to submit, and vice versa. So she's got to be hearing the same thing I'm hearing and walking the same route I'm walking in order for us to be in unity. You know, the scripture talks about marriage and say, for this cause shall a man leave his father and mother, cleave unto his wife, and these two shall be one. Now
I have to interject too a minute ago, but you don't feel as if it's counterproductive, because you said for a man to give a woman reason, substance, nutrients to have her submit, but she don't want to submit because he isn't being that way. Do you feel like that's like you beating out a dead horse, and like you're beating out a dead horse? If, like, again, I've been kind of studying for the last year and some change relationships and the whole dynamic. But I feel as if, like, again, if I meet my wife, or whatever the case might be, right? And she is telling me for the right person, she's going to submit. I'm like, why? I'm not saying submit. For the right man, she would change her ways, or whatever else the case might be. Why have to be the right man? Like, me and you had this conversation. You telling me about integrity. You telling me you have to display integrity both in public and in private. You're supposed to be this way at all times. You're supposed to be a person of principle of all times. So it doesn't mean the perfect man is supposed to make a woman submit or whatever else, or make a woman want to listen. She's supposed to be this way at all times. Just as well as women, they want a man to be a man at all times. I cannot pick and choose when I can be a man and when I cannot be a man. You understand? Right. So I feel like that is
make a person submit. That's not submit.
Yes,
submitting to something voluntarily you do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but
now, here's the thing about it: you got to look at each individual relationship on its own merits. Meaning, you got to look inside that relationship and find out what's going on. But the general rule is the woman should submit to the husband, but the husband should love his wife as Christ loved the church. I just had this morning a woman that been married for about 28 years, and she was sharing with me how her husband is not doing his part in the family, with the daughters, not being the man, not being that person that she can lean on. She's taking the responsibility for the whole household. And so you can't have an expectation to have something when you're not even doing what you should be doing. And that's not a case. That's not an interject, please? That's just somebody complaining about their husband. Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. So, you know, I think in this society, men are, I'm very non-biased myself because and brother Leo would tell you I'm very non-biased. What you looking at me like that for, man? You lucky we ain't in front of each other. We have to squabble. You know, I've been going to the gym, bro. We have to squabble. Nah, but look though, but I'm very non-biased when it comes to certain certain topics, subjects. What
Mhm.
I see today, including with myself,
Right.
that men are men are going through men are required to do so much. Like the standards on a man is almost making it, I'm not gonna say it's impossible almost, but it's like women are, if a woman does something, if she's taking care of the home and she's a strong,
Mhm.
woman, or strong black woman, yeah, strong independent sister, ah, and God's gonna get her out. But if it's a man, he's an infidel. If it's a man, not, if it's a man, he's supposed to do it, or if he don't do it, he's an infidel. Now I agree with that letter in the Bible. He is an infidel if he's not providing for his family. At the same time, these women are not uh are not acting like that proverbial 31 woman. you know like I know they're not, and now they're supposed to be doing that for a king, you know or somebody who has the, I would say in this day and age, a king standard. So she should also have that virtuous standard. She's supposed to also be building her home. So what we're supposed to be doing now is holding the woman accountable to also build the home as well. And a man is supposed to also be the director of that. He's supposed to make sure everything is going correct. And Elder Carlos, I do agree with you, so man, should I call you pastor or elder? What is it, man? Let me know.
It's okay. It's either one is fine, or just Carlos Keith. I'm not hooked up in titles.
No doubt, man. No, no, no. Well, we over here we put titles. I'm not like brother Leo. I don't play the fool. No, I'm just playing. I'm just joking.
Well, if we doing title, his name is Doctor Carlos Keith. By the way,
Oh, that don't make it
Doctor,
right.
Doctor.
brother Leo, brother Leo. I'm teasing, brother
I
Leo.
know, I know, I know.
Well, you far from a fool, my brother. I also want to. I believe in this day and age, we should hold. Me. I'm into black women. I'm not gonna lie to you, but you know what I'm saying.
As
I don't
am
have
I.
anything. I don't have anything against other any other race of people. I don't hate nobody. I'm just saying like um I'm into black American women. Leo's gonna say it, so am I. No, but look though, no, but look though, no, no, but look though. The thing about it is we have to start holding these women accountable in that Proverbs 31 standard. And and I think and then we have to also do our due diligence to act like kings, to where we can be submitted to as unto the Lord. Like, it's so much stuff I believe men should be doing on that. It's almost like we have to be superheroes in this day and age to get respect. Like, we have to go above and beyond because we already have the standard on us to be a superhero. And then, if a woman could do it's almost like a woman could do the bare minimum. She could do the bare minimum as a mother, not even as a person who's a single mother, but just as a mother in general. And she's, God's gift to the green earth, you know. And that's no disrespect to the women out there. I love y'all. I'm just saying the standards. I'm not saying that, I'm talking about the standards, And so Elder Carlos, Dr. Carlos, Pastor Carlos,
Yes.
let me know. Let
Apostle
me know.
Carlos.
No doubt. Let me know.
Well, let me ask you this. Men, as far as God is concerned, were considered to be the leaders.
Right, right.
So take this as just a little parable. In our church, I'm the leader, ultimate leader, which means I'm held to more responsibility and more accountability because I've been given more authority. So when God gave that man that authority, notice who he did not. He said, when he called Adam, he didn't say, Eve, where are you? And when we understand that every man is potentially has been created to lead. That means if I'm the leader in my home, I am the person with the authority, and I'm the person got to be held accountability. And I'm not saying I shouldn't hold my wife to something, but my wife is my helper. And in other words,
say it again, Pastor.
My wife is, well, the ultimate design was the wife was designed. What I'm saying is
she was your helpmate. She was your helpmate.
Road would teach, you got to go back to the intent of the creator. When God created Adam, he created Eve to help Adam, to be a helpmate, not an inmate, but a helpmate. So a lot of times women don't know their purpose and their role, but then the leader, the man, is the one that really got held responsible. And now, if the house falls apart, a lot of times, like if something happens at our church, you know who's ultimately responsible?
You.
Me. Because why? I'm the leader. Now, I'm not saying that women should not be held accountable, but here's the thing that I started with. Let's start choosing as much as possible. All women are not messed up and tore up from the floor up. There's some good women out there, but when I choose, I'm responsible for what I did. That's my decision. And if I choose somebody like that, then it's on me. And if I don't take the time to pray about it and make sure I enter into one of the most serious relationships, and if I do that haphazardly, that decision is on me. And so I'm saying every decision that you make, I can't blame nobody but you. I just happen to wait, hear God's voice, and choose the wife that I got. And for 43 years, I'm not saying she's perfect, but she's been perfect for me.
I want to say a few things on that regard. Is you had a great selection on your wife. You chose a wife of God, because there's a lot of women out there that they claim to know God, but they don't want to. They ain't following the teachings. There's a lot of women, I know God and so forth, but you ain't following the teachings of whatever the case might be. And let me break down what I'm saying. You made a lot of great key points towards that, because in this day and age, a woman, like what Holy was saying, Brother Jay, he said, men right now have to be superheroes,
Don't call me Jay, call me James, man. Don't break my name down like that.
You said by worldly standards.
Well, we don't get judged by the world.
I know, but I'm just talking about in this day and this age. That's what it is. A lot of women right nowadays, they want an unrealistic man. They want a man that's 6'10". I'm just throwing it out there. They want a man that's 6'10". They want a man that makes $1 million a month. You know what I'm saying? They want the man have his finances in order and everything, right? And then what they want to do, they want a man that obtained the whole entire world. And what they want to do is they want that man.
You got to let me interject on this, brother. You're talking about the average woman don't want all that, bro. Yeah, I mean, I'm be real. I'm 5'5", and I be dating women taller than me.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? It's your charisma, my brother. It's your demeanor, my brother. It's your confidence. It's your stature as a man, your confidence that a woman is attracted to. You got. I love our giants, our tall brothers. You know what I'm saying? But honestly, women go off what they see in society.
Yes.
What they feel societal, and it could be a little, primal instinct. They're a taller guy, but once they see that you're a strong man, it don't really matter at that point, because I done got information for women taller than me. You know what I'm saying? Like way taller than I was. You know what I'm saying? But but you keep bringing up why but I know go ahead, brother. I'm gonna let you finish. I know
but see, here's the thing, Leo. You got to be careful, because you may be stereotyping people and putting everybody in one basket. That's just like saying all pastors are robbing people in the church. So you put me in that same basket with all the rest of the pastors. Yeah. All pastors, all they doing is asking people's money. You putting that person in that's called stereotyping.
It is.
And I'm telling you.
Preach.
Now, the first thing can I ask a question?
Go ahead.
What is the definition of a good man?
A good man.
What do we consider by definition a good man?
I got to go back off the primal.
A man who leaves an inheritance to his children's children. That's my definition of a good man. But that's just one. But
yes. I love that. I love that. But I'm going based off a primal, the primal, like you're talking about, the primal instincts of a woman. A great man would be a protector and a provider. That would be a great man in terms of me being stereotypical to not all women, but a lot of women. A protector and a provider. And also, whilst I'm piggybacking of that, that's why a lot of women like men that are taller than them and usually built or able to protect them, because they're looking for those primal things of a protector and a provider. Going back of the basis, the basic rudiments.
But those are surface issues outwardly.
Yes.
You know, if we looking at, see, first of all, if you're looking at a person from the surface, now everybody wants a attractive man or attractive woman. I got it. But that shouldn't be the first priority. You want to look at that person's heart, because those surface issues will fall apart as you get older. She's going to get bigger. You're going to get maybe tall, but you're going to get bigger. You're going to get the out of shape. You're going a lot of things. So I'm saying, I want the inside of that person as well as I want the outside. I want a woman that, and here's why I chose my wife. I did not choose her primarily because she loved me. I chose her primarily because she loved God. And I knew I was an imperfect man. And if she loved God, she was going to forgive me if I fall. So again, there's a lot of good women out there for good men. But if you want a good person, it's equally important for you to be good.
Yes. I have to interject for a minute, Pastor. I got to interject for a minute.
You could have left that on.
Yes. So, great point. Great point. And I feel like we got to have a second sequence, because we spoke on so much. And I got a lot of rebuttals. I have a lot of rebuttals. Not because I'm going to tell you, this man has humbled me down. He's taught me humility. He's like, when you listen with a discerning ears, so you can hear what somebody said and repeat like their words, and also add your little 5 cents. But I gotta get more time with y'all family. But that's all what Brothers in America have to us today. Y'all better join us for this probably next week, so we could pick up from where we left off. Family, y'all want to close it out?
Absolutely. Now this was the clean version of BIA out of respect. So if you tell any of your church family to come to the channel, just say, watch this video. My mouth, I'm explicit. I'm gonna be honest. I'm an explicit brother, but out of respect, I kept it. I had some demure and decorum, and I kept it. Yeah. But anyway, James.
Go ahead, Apostle.
Thank you very much. If you need me again, just let me know. I love it. I love the conversation. I love being on here with you guys. Just let me know when y'all want to do it again.
I appreciate it. Family, this Brothers in America. This is what we bring. This is what we do. I appreciate everybody on the